Okay, you have MGM Resorts sues more than 1,000 mass shooting victims to avoid liability. And what makes this sad is that this company is worried more about liability and losing their business than the people who suffered great bodily harm. And so they're more about protecting their business. And people who are in these companies are more concerned about protecting their assets, their money, than the people that are buying into whatever it is that they have, venues, shows. They don't really care about you. All they care about is your money. And it's sad. And all of those people, most of them were white. And so the reason why I'm saying this is that, people sometimes have it in their head that, oh, well, we're protecting our own and we're doing this. And when it comes to money, people can switch on you in a heartbeat. And it doesn't matter if you come from the same background, they're more about the money. And I feel like that's pretty much the direction of how this country is starting to go. Is you shouldn't be shocked, really, that these companies and these people who have this money are more concerned about their it's money. They're obsessed with money. And so it reads that the MGM Resorts internal uh, international has filed a in Las Vegas claiming that the company has no liability for any of the injuries or deaths. The lawsuit, the lawsuits do not seek any money from the victims, but argue that any claims against MGM parties must be dismissed. And so all of the victims who are now defendants mentioned that the lawsuit previously sued or threatened to sue they previously sued or threatened to sue the MGM Resorts International, which owns Mandalay Bay and the Route 91 Harvest Festival venue. So those lawsuits claim that the company was liable for the deaths, injury, and emotional distress caused by the mass shooting. But in the new lawsuits, MGM Resorts is citing that in 2002 congressional law called the Safety Act, which limits the liability in any mass shooting or acts of terrorism and is meant to protect companies from going out of business. It states that there can only be one cause of action or lawsuit allowed from going out. Okay, so instead, they're more concerned about going out of business and losing their business and losing money. So instead, the thousands of lawsuits originally filed against them. So it also states that the seller of the anti-terrorism technology, which includes things like metal detectors, would be liable for any incident, not the buyer. It's like the security system set up in the resort. So, but hold on to your horses because it goes into it more. So MGM Resorts is arguing that they couldn't be held liable, but the security company they hired for the festival potentially could if it wasn't certified by Department of Homeland Security for protecting against the responding to the acts of the mass injury and destruction. So in this case, the security company, Contemporary Services Corp, was certified and would also be protected from liability. So they can't even sue the security company. They can't sue the MGM Graham, and they can't sue the security company, is what they're saying. because they're more concerned about their business going out of business and then losing business. So this new lawsuit would also bring the case to federal court. So a spokeswoman for the MGM Resorts released a statement Monday. It reads that the federal court is an appropriate venue for these cases and provides those affected with the opportunity for a timely resolution. So years of drawn out litigation and hearings are not in the best interest of victims, the community, and those still healing. So a Las Vegas lawyer, Robert Inglet, or Iglet, who has represented many of the victims, said that he believes MGM Resorts is looking for a new judge. They have sued the families of the victims while they're still grieving over their loved ones. I believe that MGM did this because they did not like Nevada's federal judge. And that is currently assigned to their case, Inglet said. So Stephen Paddock carried out the mass shooting from the 31st, 2017. And so that's pretty much the whole thing. They're more about protecting the business and going out of business and staying in business rather than all act. And so I just want to point out to some of those people who think that just because, there's a lot going on having to do with race and whatnot, but when people are more concerned about their money, they don't care if you could be from the same neighborhood, from the same family, even. If it's about the money, that's what it's about. It's about the money. They're more concerned about protecting their assets, their money, rather than who looks like them or who, it's more about the money. And this is crazy. It's crazy. It's sad, but it's true. And so there's video. I'm not even going to show it because it's, I'm sure a lot of people have seen this over and over and time and time again. And so it just it resurfaces these wounds. But the thing that is sad is here you have white people. Of all people, people think, well, white people protect white people and, this group protects its group and its own guy. Well, no, when it comes to money, apparently not. People are about covering their own behinds when it comes to losing out financially. And they're not going to go under the tanker, and go down in flames because of what someone else is going through. And that's the way their mindset is, especially when it comes to money, which is, you would think they would have more empathy and, but they're more concerned about going out of business behind this. And so this is pretty much the article. And you're probably going to hear a lot about it today because they've been talking about it on the news stations. But I just thought it was interesting, and I'm not really that shocked by it. And so, a lot of people talk about, money being an issue. And, I guess this brings me back to the whole thing of that, when people talk about the 1% and, how these companies, how they just kind of like, they try to avoid being held liable. And that should make people think now, do you want to pay into these companies if they're not secure and safe when they hold these type of venues? That's the thing people should now be looking at, because it makes it really, a pretty dangerous situation if you know that they're going to turn on you like this. So supposing there's other venues or other big events that happen in other places. Now you'd want to know, is it safe to go if somebody, has some kind of mental problem, or they're angry, or they're enraged, or they're going through something, or there's a terrorist act at these big sporting events. Are they more concerned about, having a good security system in place and people there to protect its citizens, or are they more concerned about the business rather than protecting the citizens? And so those are the things that people should now start looking at some of these new, things. They're building up new stadiums. There's new, and these people who own these places are making billions of dollars, billions of dollars. But look at this, what this is reading. So no, it's not about we're protecting only our people. No, no, they're protecting only their money. So we're protecting about the money. So this is reading MGM is so the shooting victims, all those white people, and most of them were, you know, um, were hurt, they were injured, or they were killed, they were murdered. And here you got a person or persons, they're more concerned about protecting their assets. And so they're covering their behind any way, by any means necessary. What do you think about that? This is the times we're living in. And so thanks for listening. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.